Assalamualaikum and hi to everyone. Thank you for watching this video. So in this video we'll discuss about the internet and its applications. Okay, first we go for this part, views of the internet itself. So the views of internet is divided into two parts. The first one we call as the nuts and bolts. Okay, what the nuts and bolts is the practical part. What is the internet? So in the practical parts, the nuts and bolts means that in internet we have millions of devices that connected together using the communication links, and of course they're able to share the resources. What are the resources in terms of the file, in terms of the video or audio, images, the processor, and a lot more. Okay, so the practical part, when we talk about the internet, we have multiple devices that connected together, and those multiple devices we known as the node end system or end system devices end system. So the process of connectivity using the switches, packet switches, and different communication links that they use or transmission medium that they use, it has the different data rates as well as the speed. Okay, the data transmission is depends on the hardware as well on the software that they use. That is the practical way. And using that part, using the processing of transferring the data, communicate over the internet, there are protocol that being used in order to guide and control the communication. And the most popular protocol under the internet, we are using internet, and most of us using the internet while using the internet are the internet protocol, the IP, and the TCP, transmission control protocol. So these are the two protocols that being used widely over the internet. Okay, the second views of the internet is based on the services that the internet allow for their user to use the services through the internet. So one of the services that very popular and most of us already use it, especially while we want to set up or configure our mobile phone, it is an email or electronic email. The internet we have to find a view. First is the practical part. What is the internet in the practical and the basic part, how we understand about the internet. The second one is about the services that are provided by the internet. Okay, the next one is one of the application or services provide which refer to the electronic email, electronic mail or email. So email refer to the store and forward model. So using this model, there are sending part, the receiving part, the storing part, and the forwarding part of email procedure or process. Okay, and then the first email was signed by the Ray Tomlinson in 1971. One of the popular Gmail email application known as Gmail. Actually, Gmail is not belong to Google. It's based on the one of cartoon character, which is a Garfield. Okay, so this is the store and forward model. So there is certain term that you should know. Okay, we have email client and email client. We have sender part, and then we have the recipient, receiver side, sender side, recipient side. Okay, the first part we have the MUE. Okay, the agent. So the agent will go through the LAN or internet, and then it will use the SMTP protocol. So it's referred to the SMTP server. So at this level, at this level we have another agent, MTA. So this MTA will connect the sender to the recipient using the internet. So it uses the SMTP protocol, simple mail transfer protocol. From this server side of sender go to server side of receiver, and then at this point the server side will be on the MDA, okay, another agent. Under this part you will use POP3 or IMAP protocol, and then it goes to MUA against protocol towards the recipient. So you should know what is the MTP, what is the POP3. Okay, POP3 also known as the POP server, because later on when we want to develop a web application, and if your web application provide the email functions, so you need to make sure you know how to implement the SMTP server part and the POP3 server part. Okay, so MTA is the mail transport agent at the recipient side. Okay, MUA refer to the mail user agent. Okay, mail user agent such as Microsoft Outlook, okay, Lotus Note that being used by the UiTM. So MUA, MTA are the agents that will help us in order to send our email to our friends. Okay, in email we have protocol that being used. So the protocol are Mail Transport Protocol or SMTP. And another one we have the Mail Access Protocol. So this protocol is a post office protocol and the Internet Message Access Protocol, IMAP. So these are the protocol that being used in the email processing. Okay, the next part we have the file transfer. Instead of email as the services that we can use through the internet, we also have the file transfer processing. We using the internet, we can transfer our file, okay, share the resources. So we use the FTP, which is the protocol, in order to transfer or copying the file from one computer to another computer. So these are the model of file transferring. Okay, we have client and server, and then we have user. So user will go for the interfaces part in order to do file transferings, and then it will use the FTP client protocol, and then it will identify the port number or port address. So basically for FTP we use 21 port number. Okay, and then at this part we have the file system. So the file system that store your resources or your file or documents, and then use the data transfer protocol, and it also have their own port address. So each process in the network or in the communicating, we have different port address. So at the server side, it will from port 2323, it will communicate with port number 21. Port number 2324, it will communicate with port number 20. So this port number for file transfer, this port number for the data transfer protocol. So both at the client side and the server side, there is a file system that store the file itself. So FTP is a standard interactive and connection oriented protocol based on the client server. Okay, as this model show, it's based on the client server model or architecture. So it's rely on the TCP or transferring file protocol, and the FTP means we copy one file from one file to another file, from one computer to another computer. Instead of FTP, we have another protocol that we call as SFTP. So this protocol is used if you're concerned more on the security issue. So we use the SFTP protocol. So these are the protocol, other standard file protocol when we want to copying file or transfer copying file from one PC to another PC, or in internet world we call as host to another. Okay, these are the commands that we can use when we want to do FTP or file transfer protocol. That's the command. Okay, this part is the common command that you can use when you are using the Windows or Microsoft Windows version, and these are the commands that available if you use the FTP at the Linux version. So these are the command for FTP, Windows and Linux version. So that's all for this video. Next time we'll discuss on the real-time communication. So don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Assalamualaikum.